Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into why learning to code is honestly the ultimate modern quest. If you've ever felt like coding is just this totally impenetrable fortress, or maybe you've tried to learn before but instantly got overwhelmed, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to cut right through the noise, completely bypass the truly terrible internet advice out there, and show you the actual pragmatic steps to getting hired in tech. To really understand why this quest is so absolutely crucial, just think about what happened this morning. Get this. In the exact time it took you to brush your teeth, automated trading algorithms made Wall Street firms millions of dollars in profit. Literally millions. While you were standing there rinsing with mouthwash. It really proves a massive point. Knowing how to code lets you run laps around everyone else. And when you combine that code with modern AI tools, your ability to build, automate, and just create sheer value moves at lightning speed. But of course, the million-dollar question here is, how do you navigate all this without being totally misled? Because if you jump online right now, you'll be bombarded by advice from first-year computer science students who have taken, exactly one intro course? You know the ones. They go out, drop $2,000 on a MacBook, slap some fancy stickers on it, curate this whole late-night aesthetic with mood lighting, and snap pictures of their setup, all just to write a single line of code. That is just not the reality of becoming a developer. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the value of coding, step 1, finding your path, the programming language trap, escaping tutorial hell, and finally, surviving LeetCode limbo.
All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the value of coding.
The reality of the industry is actually pretty clear. You have an immense advantage if you just sit down and actually do the work. The crazy thing about traditional paths, like your standard four-year computer science degree, is that the average CS grad studies a whopping 14 minutes a week. 14 minutes. And then they wonder why they struggle to get hired. You really don't need a perfectly curated workspace. You just need to write code.
Which brings us nicely to section 2, step 1, finding your path.
It sounds incredibly obvious, but 100% of successful programmers share one exact trait. They actually started. As we map out this overarching quest, step 1 is literally just getting off the starting line. But to do that, you've got to pick a map. So you basically have two incredibly valid paths to choose from here. On one hand, we've got the completely free self-taught route. If you go over to roadmap.sh, you get this massive, detailed map of skills for everything from front-end development to cybersecurity. You follow the yellow boxes and you learn entirely at your own pace. On the other hand, if you're someone who really needs structure, you have boot camps like 1010. They give you tutors, code reviews, coaches, and a set curriculum. Actually, 87% of their grads get hired within 6 months, and they even offer a 100% money-back guarantee if you don't land a job. So, whether you want to go the solo, free route to learn niche skills, or the guided, guaranteed route with built-in career help, the only truly wrong choice is just not choosing at all.
Okay, let's look at section 3, the programming language trap.
Now, this is where beginners absolutely obsess. They will spend weeks in forums arguing over the silliest things before they ever even write a line of code. People will literally argue that strongly typed languages require a heavy physical bench press to understand, while weakly typed languages like JavaScript are, jokingly of course, only for the weak. It's wild. They'll debate syntax and machine-level control until they are blue in the face. But honestly, to stop all the overthinking and those endless, exhausting debates about syntax or performance, you should really just learn Python. Seriously, just pick it up, learn the basics, and keep moving. The secret is that programming languages are actually pretty easy to pick up once you already know one. Do not let this be the hurdle that stops you from starting.
Moving right along to section 4, escaping tutorial hell.
We have officially arrived at step 2 of our quest. The reading phase is over. This is where the grueling, messy work of actually making things begins. The absolute crucial point here is that obsessing over deep theory without practicing is a massive waste of time. It is literally exactly like trying to learn how to make a grilled cheese sandwich by reading one book exclusively on bread and a completely separate book exclusively on cheese. At some point, the reading just isn't enough. You just have to put them together in a pan and make the sandwich. And that brings us to the ultimate divide. Tutorial hell is where you passively sit there, watching an 11-hour Python for Beginners video, mindlessly copying code line by line, and feeling like you're learning when you absolutely aren't. To ascend to project heaven, you must actively build something. You have to solve problems and retain that knowledge. You have to embrace the struggle when your eyes get incredibly dry, your posture deteriorates into some weird free-form shape, and the backs of your thighs are literally sticking to your chair. To actually do this, you gotta build practical things. Let's say you like pressure washing driveways. Build a website where a user inputs their driveway size and the surface type, and the site estimates the cost. Sounds super simple, right? I promise you it will be incredibly complicated. You will have to Google absolutely everything. You're going to feel totally lost hearing YouTubers talk about API calls and weird niche acronyms. But guess what? That is completely normal. Use the project guidelines on roadmap.sh to force yourself to figure it out instead of just copying someone else's code. Just look at the website neil.fun. It's this amazing collection of mini-games today. But if you look at the creator's early stuff, it was incredibly basic. Everyone starts simple. That struggle of pasting code and Googling acronyms, that is the only way you actually learn. And finally, Section 5, Surviving LeetCode Limbo. This is it. Welcome to the final boss of our explainer quest, navigating the dreaded LeetCode limbo. Because look, unless you happen to be the firstborn child of the CEO, LeetCode is law. LeetCode limbo is this phase where you're going to practice staring blankly at your computer screen, looking at an algorithmic problem, and completely failing to understand a single thing for weeks in a row. You are going to be jumping through mental hoops trying to wrap your head around maps, sets, and trees. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth do companies do this? Well, it's because they honestly don't have a perfect way to test your actual coding skills in a 30-minute interview. So they use this grueling, totally arbitrary process as basically a corporate secret handshake. It's just a way for you to prove to the interviewer that you're dedicated enough to belong there. So, the real trick to surviving this final boss is pacing. You absolutely need to space your practice out over months. Please do not try to cram 75 problems into a single week. Just remember that everyone, even the top experts, started at the very beginning with basic problems like to-sum. Do yourself a massive favor and just ignore those YouTubers who are speedrunning LeetCode hards before you've even finished reading the prompt. It's a completely absurd process, so you really have to keep a sense of humor about the whole thing. And hey, if all else fails, you can always just accept that McDonald's is the new meta. So, as we wrap up this explainer, you have a pretty big choice to make. Are you going to stay trapped in that endless loop of passive internet advice and curating your laptop aesthetics? Or are you finally ready to pick a path, embrace the dry eyes and the struggle, build that first real project, and master the secret handshake? The map is fully drawn out for you. Your quest starts right now.